Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to yet another episode of Trucking with Eugene. And of course, my good buddy Fred, my co-driver slash trainer. I want to go ahead and apologize because I know this video is going to be kind of a long video. It's a pre-trip video because there's a way you do it in school to get your CDLs, and then there's a way that's expected of you to do it outside in the real world after you get your CDLs. I'm hoping that maybe the company you go to will show you the right way. So, because a lot of DOT violations come from your logs and because you didn't do a proper pre-trip. So, it will include showing you how to properly use a tread depth for your tires, and also the 4-in-1 tool that I showed in a previous video. I'm going to show some episodes, how this comes in handy. So, if you can see a little crack on my window from a rock chip, as you can see, well within range. So, as long as it's inside that circle, it's all good. So, let's begin with pre-trip 101. Yeah, you want to check your lights, make sure they're properly working. Mount it, secure. Okay. So, I always start with the outside of my wheel. Work up, lug nuts, make sure they're properly mounted, secure. Your brake drum, your brake liner, brake pad. So, with the 4-in-1 tool, you take it, slide it in the crack. As long as it goes freely, you know you got enough brake liner. And here, find the middlest thread, push down. As you can see, possibly. And so, pretty good amount of tread left on my steer. Which steer tires for 30 seconds. And you're going to inspect. The way I do it is work from the top and zigzag down. And check your tensioner pulley. So, as you can see, still tight on both. So, and we move around and still check your lights, check under. And you're going to check your, yep. And again, you work from the outside in. And then up. And as you can tell, I got a little leak and a freeze. And you check your oil, dipstick. You want to check this, make sure there's no movement, make sure that don't turn, make sure everything's properly mounted and secure. So, you're moving on down, checking your skirts, checking your wires, making sure they're properly mounted and secure, not broken, not frayed, not leaking. I always have my trailer brakes released, so that way you can hear air leaking from the red. You want to make sure they're free and clear, not touching the catwalk anywhere. You want to make sure your brakes and stuff for your truck are good. Your fifth wheel is good. Turn on the light. Want to inspect the bolts for your fifth wheel. Make sure your fifth wheel is pulled out properly. Your tread. Make sure there's nothing in between. Make sure your airbags, your brake chambers. Now another thing, this here is your push rod. And it's supposed to not come out no further than from here to the tip when it's released. I can't release it. That's generally a 2-person job. So unfortunately, a solo guys, it's kind of hard to do. But all trucks nowadays and trailers have automatic slack adjusters. So as long as you're doing what you're supposed to with your in-cab brake check every day, they should adjust the slack. So check under, make sure your locking jaws is secure. Yet again, make sure your C clamps here for your leaf springs and stuff hasn't moved. Shocks, little airbags, lights, airbags. Yeah. And you want to check all your lights down your trailer. Make sure the reflective tape covers at least 50% of your trailer. If you have dry van or flatbed, lights probably mounted secure, not broken, working properly. All right, and your tires again, kick them. All right, as you can see, this one's got an air system, so it should keep them at air level. So yet again, we'll get under here, check all your hoses, your electrical lines. As you can see, they're still properly mounted and secure. Airbags and your push rod. Can't, yet again, this one you can see it a little better. So, you make sure it don't move no more than 2 inches. So, but like I said, it's one of them things they want us to do, but it's required. But you can see a little better. Stick it in here. There's plenty of wiggle room. So, as long as there's plenty of wiggle room, you don't have to get down on the ground like I'm doing. Make sure your lug nuts are properly mounted secure. Alright, you gotta have those pins. No matter if you're driving a flatbed that has spread axle or if you're in a dry van, 3 out of 4 of them have to be locked out. Make sure your mud flaps are properly mounted secure. Right? Brakes, lights, make sure your ABS light ain't on. It's a violation. Lights. Properly mounted secure. Right? Yeah. So pretty much it's all repetitive. Same stuff. But you want to do it every day. You want to do it day and night. When you begin, when you end your shift. So that way, once it's done, all the way around. Because you want to be safe. The more you do this every day and every night, like if you have a flat tire at the end of your shift, well, if you catch it on your post trip, guess what? You can call maintenance to come to send somebody out while you're on your 10-hour break. Save you downtime. And of course, don't forget your marker lights, making sure that they work properly. Another thing about the marker lights is if you got a dry van, you got them too up top. You got to make sure that they are properly working. Perks is if it's a manufactured light, if it's placed on there by the manufacturer and it's out, it's $150. I said before, this little cap right here got 18 tires. 18 tires. Okay, if you don't got the air system like I do on my trailer, you got 18 of these too. It's $35 for each one that's missing. So always keep extra. If you're a company driver, ask your maintenance shop for them. And every time they change the tire, make sure that it's on there. Because for each one that's missing, it's $35 for each one that's missing. So it adds up quick. All right. I know this one, like I said, was a long one, but hopefully it's a pretty good instructional video. Because when you're in school, you pretty much point in the general idea of the stuff and be like, I don't know how they do it nowadays, but properly mounted secure, not broken, not frayed, and not leaking, So, but out here in the real world, you get pulled in for a DOT inspection. They'll be like, well, your brake pad is not. You're like, well, I don't know, brake chamber? Well, I don't know. So hopefully the company that you start with after you get your CDL teaches you more in depth, because they can teach you. But I'm always here. Feel free to like, subscribe, share, and comment if you have any questions. Get with me. I'm more than willing to help anybody I can. I try every day out here to help anybody that's in need. So, thanks for trucking with Eugene on today's episode. Say goodbye, Fred. Y'all have a good day.